The Sports Bash pre-show presented by Living Legends Memorabilia and Collectibles, located at 124th South Long Beach Road in Rockville Center. Living Legends is Long Island's go-to store for sports, entertainment, and political memorabilia since 1996. They offer a top-notch inventory of autographed collectibles to customers in the New York City area and beyond. Give Warren a call at 516-826-4000. I'm Peter Schwartz. Good morning, everyone. I'm joined by Vinny Tickets, who's in a different seat this morning because we're going to have an in-studio guest in the first segment of the show. First of all, good morning, Vinny.
There you go.
The gentleman to my right is a longtime good friend of mine and a lacrosse legend here on Long Island. He is the president of the Long Island Metro Lacrosse Foundation, and he is helping to run the Long Island chapter of the Shootout for Soldiers this week here on Long Island in Massapequa. He is my good friend, Mike Nelson. Mike, thank you for joining us this morning.
Oh, thank you, Pete. Good to be here with you and Vinny. Thank you.
We're going to talk a lot about what's going on later in the week with the Shootout for Soldiers at Burns Park in Massapequa. But, Vinny, before I get to the Flash, I do want to recap the event that we were at last night, and we had a wonderful time at the Marty Lyons Foundation Celebrity Golf Classic. We talked to a bunch of people. Marty Lyons stopped by to talk to us. We talked to Vinny Testaverde, who Mike Nelson played with at Sewanaka High School. I just realized that this morning, so maybe he could share a story a little bit later on when we bring him on to talk about the Shootout for Soldiers. And also John Schmidt and Bruce Harper. John Schmidt from the Super Bowl III team, Bruce Harper from the late 70s, early 80s, the team that made me fall in love with the Jets and with football. But all in all, a great event for a great cause last night.
Yeah, and the interviewer, everybody that was on the show, the special episode last night, really it was a little emotional at times.
Yes.
We did see a couple of guys get a little emotional when speaking of their past. Informative, and of course, it's for a great cause. So when you talk about you could put all those things together, it makes for a perfect night.
And you know, it was interesting when we did the Big Daddy Golf Tournament a few weeks ago. Everybody, if Big Daddy asks you to do something, the answer is hardly ever, it should never be no. And the same goes for Marty Lyons. He is so wildly loved and respected, and to see the amount of people that were in that room last night for the ceremony and the speeches and the awards was just phenomenal.
Yeah, and when you hear these stories firsthand, it really puts so many things in perspective. You know, as you sit there and you hear the story and the other stories of the people and what they've gone through, and it really sheds light on how amazing a person Marty is and his organization is. So to be a part of it, it's an honor.
The Marty Lyons Foundation is the official charity of Sports Bash Media. For more information on what they do and how they grant wishes to terminally ill children, please go to martylyonsfoundation.org. They do great work. They really do God's work at the Marty Lyons Foundation. It is time for the Sports Bash Flash, brought to you by the Embassy Diner in Bethpage, where every customer is considered family. The Embassy Diner is located at 4280 Hempstead Turnpike in Bethpage. Mention Sports Bash and get a free dessert with your meal. I know Mike Nelson likes to go to the Embassy Diner, so make sure you mention Sports Bash the next time so you can get that free dessert from Gus.
Big fan of those guys.
Yeah, absolutely. The Mets settle for a split of their 4-game series in Pittsburgh. They lose to the Pirates 8-2. Tonight, the Mets open up a series with the Nationals at Citi Field. First pitch is at 7:10. The Yankees were off last night. Mercifully, they didn't have to lose last night. They open up a series with the Rays tonight at the Trop. First pitch is at 6:50. And how about this for a local sports story from yesterday? Keegan Bradley, a Long Islander, named the U.S. captain for the Ryder Cup. He played college golf at St. John's, and the reason why it was brought to my attention because my son Bradley just recently started picking up golf, and when we arrived at the golf outing last night, he was infatuated by what he saw and said, Dad, did you know that Keegan Bradley got named as the captain for the Ryder Cup? I'm like, no, I didn't know that. I just said that one must have missed my desk yesterday, but now I made sure I included it in the flash this morning.
To segue with my son, I guess you were still in your food coma.
Food coma, yes. That was from the Yankee game the other night. So a lot to do here on the show. It is a free ticket Tuesday. We're going to have some Mets tickets to give away on the show a little bit later on. Wiz will be by with this day in sports history. We'll take your phone calls at 631-451-1039. But when we come back and we welcome our radio audience in on LI News Radio, we will welcome in Mike Nelson from Shootout for Soldiers, a big event coming up here on Long Island this week. We'll be back with you in just a couple of moments.
The views and opinions expressed on this program are not necessarily those of this station, JVC Broadcasting Management, or its sponsors.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Sports Bash, presented by TicketBash.com. Sports Bash is brought to you by the Embassy Diner in Bethpage. Mention Sports Bash and get a free dessert with your meal. By Falcone Law Firm. If you need to speak to an attorney, call them at 631-6074-LAW. That's 631-607-4529. By the Marty Lyons Foundation, the official charity of Sports Bash Media. Visit them at martylyonsfoundation.org. And by Collaborate Studios, a content marketing production facility. For more information, call them at 516-509-8277. And good morning again, everyone. I'm Peter Schwartz, joined by Vinny Tickets. Number to call is 631-451-1039. Later on, we can take your calls on the Yankees, the Mets, everything else going on in sports. Good morning again, Vinny.
Well, good morning, Peter.
And we always love it when we have in-studio guests here on the program, and we have a lot to do on the show. We're going to get right to them. We've got Mets tickets to give away. We've got This Day in Sports History, our Sports Bash poll question later in the show. But first of all, our guest in studio today is Long Island Metro Lacrosse Foundation President Mike Nelson. He's here to talk about the Shootout for Soldiers event this Thursday and Friday at John Burns Park in Massapequa. Mike, welcome, my friend, to the program.
Thanks again, Pete. Great to be here.
This, if this wasn't already a great event, everybody on Long Island that participates knows it is, but to be, intimately involved in it for the last few years, because my son Bradley played lacrosse at MacArthur High School and was involved in the game, and you get to see the inner workings of what happens. It is a great event where money is raised for soldiers across the country, and there's so many different chapters of this event. And you've been involved with it. I think it's coming up on 10 years now. This is the 10th year.
This will be our 10th
This is
event
the
on
10th,
Long Island,
the 10th
yes.
event. So tell everybody a little bit about the event and what people can expect if they participate or just come by to watch on Thursday and Friday.
So we have we feel like we have a little something for everybody. We have people to be involved. We have people to watch. We have people to come and get involved and volunteer. The fundraising is great. We're able to help out a couple of really, really good organizations. As you know, our veterans really need a lot of help. They're not exactly taken care of by the people who should be taking care of them. Let's leave it at that. All right. So, but we feel like it's our duty as lacrosse people to help our veterans and our country, and the only way we know how, through lacrosse event.
Yeah. So Mike, when you got started with run us through how people can get involved, how they can help your organization. Is there a website? Is there a number to reach out to? How do people get involved and help your cause?
Sure. Our website is www.shootoutforsoldiers.com. We can be found on Instagram and all sorts of social media. The way that we fundraise and get people involved is the first way is through registration, team registration. So a team registered to put their team in, and then after that, each player is responsible for raising money to come up with their fundraising limit, and that ensures that the team is there to play and they have enough people. And then some players are free to raise as much money as they want to. We have kids that have raised up over $3,000-$4,000 individually. Wow. We have teams that have gone over $7,000 or $8,000, and it's a real team bonding experience for these guys. But more important than raising money, fundraising, is the connection that we're able to make with the kids. A lot of kids don't know what issues veterans are facing. Post-traumatic syndrome and depression and all that stuff. I can go on and on. Homelessness, right? So rather than just say, hey, listen, we want money in order for you to play in our event, we make it more of a connection and make it more of a personal interaction with what we're doing. The people that we got involved, that we're contributing to, they have representatives there. We have veterans come and speak to the teams individually, just so the kids just don't know that they're not there to win a T-shirt. They're not there to win a championship. They're not going to get recruited. They're there to help play lacrosse, the sport that they love, the sport that they've been playing, forever, for a good cause and for our veterans and for something that benefits our country.
Tell us what the format is, so we know it's Shootout for Soldiers,
Yes.
right? .com.
Right.
So we want all our listeners, all our viewers to get involved, do what you can to help a really worthy cause. But give us the rundown of what's going to take place when this event is happening. Give us an idea of what happens.
So we have a really,
You have about an hour?
we have a lot of exciting things planned. Up until this year, we've been a 24-hour straight event. Several of our volunteers are not able to go 24 hours in a row. I've been ordered not to by my wife. But we're going to go 2 12-hour days. We're going to start off with a opening ceremony on Thursday morning at 9 o'clock, and we're going to run all the way through till 10 o'clock at night on Thursday. During the day on Thursday, we'll have a special needs game, which is at 6 o'clock, and we have a father-son game, which is at 7:30. Friday is our big day. Friday we'll have a Vietnam veterans 50th anniversary commemorative ceremony. We've been able to help the Long Island Air Force Association present 50th anniversary medals to Vietnam veterans for 10 years now. And these guys do a great job of reaching out and finding veterans that haven't been accepted. Some guys are still waiting for acceptance 50 years later, which is sad. It's a sad commentary on what the Vietnam War was, but we're trying to do our part to help them to give these guys a little bit of closure, right? And then the events on Friday after that, they just keep piling up. We have goalie clinics, we have face-off clinics, we have a parachute jump-in by the All Veterans Group at 6 o'clock. We have a veterans game comprised of all U.S. military veterans. Following that at 7 o'clock, we have the New York Police Department versus New York Fire Department annual game, which is our marquee game. They've been with us for 10 years now. That's at 8 o'clock. For the first time, we have the NYPD women. We'll follow them with a women's game against the Sirens at 9 o'clock. And then we'll have our closing check ceremony at 10 o'clock on Friday.
Wow, sounds like a full day. And can people, is there an entry to watch the games?
No, it's free for everybody who wants
You just
to come.
show up, and
Yeah.
and that's the great thing about the event is that you show up at Burns Park. Even if you're not directly affiliated with any of the games, you can walk through. They have food trucks. They've got souvenir stands. Like that's another thing too. Like that's how
It's
they
a
raise.
great way to
they-
get involved
they
and
raise
support.
100%. They've got a great tent with merchandise for Shootout for Soldiers. Our guest is Mike Nelson. He is the president of the Long Island Metro Lacrosse Foundation, running the Long Island Shootout for Soldiers this Thursday and Friday at Burns Park in Massapequa. Before Vinny had asked about the teams that are participating, and you had talked about like there's all ages. You have kids teams that sign up to play, high school teams, club teams. But what about the kid who's not? Maybe he's not associated with a team. He wants to play lacrosse and he wants to register and play. Do you take free agents?
Yeah, absolutely. We've been contacted by a bunch of people that just looking at, I guess this has piqued everybody's interest in, whether the team's involved or not. There are kids that want to contribute and get involved, and we'll find a place for them. We'll find a place for anybody that wants to play.
And
we have special needs games. We have wheelchair games. We have co-ed games. Like you said before, little kids games from 5 years old. We have players up to 70 years old playing.
And when you put an event like this together, you've got to have local people that help you out. And I know there was a time where you had the event at Field of Dreams, and I know you had told me a couple of times your hope was to get this event to Burns Park, which is an unbelievable place.
Yes.
So many great facilities there. What did it mean for you to finally get this event to Burns Park a couple of years ago, and how important have the local authorities been in trying to help that happen?
The town of Oyster Bay has been great, and we've had nothing but support from them. Field of Dreams was a great place to get started. It was exactly what we needed. But as we grew and it created more other issues, logistically. So moving to Burns Park allowed us to expand and people to have a little more freedom moving around. And instead of fighting for parking at Field of Dreams, they can come to Burns and not worry about that. And then, spend more time looking at the apparel, watching games, watching veterans, watching the parachute, watching, just being involved.
Are you going to jump with a parachute?
I may jump without a parachute. If this,
Depends how long the day is.
if this keeps up the way it's going, but
It depends what kind of help he's getting from his constituents,
yeah,
right?
just keep me out of the plane and we'll be okay. But no, we're good. The parachute jump we're looking forward to. It hasn't happened in 2 years because of weather, but we're hoping that Friday's weather clears up enough for us to get it in.
And I will say this, and I knew this before Bradley started playing lacrosse, and I know it now, that the Long Island lacrosse community is very, very close-knit, very tight. You can't go a block on Long Island. I've said this before on the show. We've had other guests. You can't go a block on Long Island without seeing a lacrosse net in front of somebody's house, kids having a catch, kids firing the ball up against the wall. And this event is a perfect example of how special lacrosse is here on Long Island.
The great thing about Shootout for Soldiers is every hour there's a whole new group of people that come in that I haven't seen in a year or I haven't seen in a few months. So every hour you get rejuvenated and reinvigorated and you get psyched to see people that are excited to be there and they want to be there and it continues for 24 hours.
Great job, Mike.
Thank you, Mike. Mike Nelson, the president of the Long Island Metro Lacrosse Foundation, and he has run the Long Island Shootout for Soldiers. This is now the 10th year. It's this Thursday and Friday at John Burns Park in Massapequa. For more information, go to www.shootoutforsoldiers.com. When we come back, we'll have our poll question. We'll have This Day in Sports History. It's Free Ticket Tuesday. We're going to give away some Mets tickets. That's all coming up. Stay with us on Facebook and YouTube through the break. We'll have some more. Peter Schwartz, Vinny Tickets, coming back with more Sports Bash presented by TicketBash.com right after this. Hi, I'm Peter Schwartz.
And I'm Vinny Tickets.
We want to take a moment to talk about our fantastic sponsor, the Embassy Diner.
Embassy Diner has been a beloved staple in the restaurant industry for over 50 years. And the great thing about it is when you walk through the door, you're not a customer, you are family. Every visit promises to be filled with warmth, love, and respect.
And here's an extra treat. If you mention Sports Bash during your visit, you enjoy a free dessert on the Embassy Diner.
Come on down to the Embassy Diner, where great food and great company are always on the menu.
Visit the Embassy Diner, located at 4280 Hempstead Turnpike in Bethlehem. Peter Schwartz, Vinny Tickets, back for our commercial segment as we welcome, ready to welcome our radio audience back in just a moment. We're still on Facebook and YouTube. A great segment with Mike Nelson. It's a wonderful event this week, the Shootout for Soldiers, and in a couple of years past, Bradley's high school team was played at midnight. Yeah. I think about that, and you have hundreds of people around, and it's all hours of the night. They used to have it, and now they've split the segment up into two, 12-hour days on Thursday and Friday. It really is a cool event to be a part of.
You know what? Friday night, that has to be a great game. The fire department against. Do we know what departments they are? Is it New York City, Long Island?
Mike, is it Long Island or NYPD? New York. So it's the fire department in New York against against the police department.
That's got to be a great game.
Well,
listen, every other competition they have.
I've been to the hockey games between those two units, and Madison Square Garden made alcohol record sales when they had those games. So I don't know if it's going to be to that level at Shootout for Soldiers. Mike's smiling right now in the back of the studio, but we'll have to see. In a few seconds, we're going to welcome back in our radio audience, and we'll continue with Sports Bash in just a moment. Welcome back to Sports Bash presented by TicketBash.com. Number to call is 631-451-1039. It's Peter Schwartz, Vinny Tickets. Thanks again to our guest, Mike Nelson, the president of the Long Island Metro Lacrosse Foundation, for coming in to talk about the Long Island Shootout for Soldiers this Thursday and Friday at John Burns Park in Massapequa. Before we get to more business, we have some very special business to take care of because it is Tuesday, and that means it is a free Ticket Tuesday here on Sports Bash, and we are now about to give away 2 tickets to see the Mets take on the Rockies this Sunday at Citi Field. Let's see, the Sunday's date is July 14th. It's Bastille Day.
Bastille Day.
But there's something else going on Sunday.
Yeah, I don't know.
Anybody?
Yeah, your birthday.
That's right. That's
there
right.
you go.
Sunday is my birthday. So if you want to celebrate my birthday by going to see the Mets and the Colorado Rockies on Sunday, this is what you have to do. 631-451-1039. Again, 631-451-1039. We will take the third phone caller. No, it's Mets tickets.
Right.
In memory of Bud Harrelson.
Bud Harrelson.
May he rest in peace. Third caller right now. 631-451-1039 is the number to call, and we'll get you those tickets for Sunday. They'll be good seats? Or
They'll be
just
decent
okay?
seats. We'll keep them out of the uppers.
You'll keep them out of the uppers.
Yes.
All right. That's a good deal. 2 tickets to see the Mets and the Rockies on Sunday. I imagine there's some sort of giveaway on Sunday. I would think usually Sundays the Mets have a giveaway.
Yeah,
we'll
they
have
do.
to see what that
We'll
is
have to
on
look that
Sunday.
up.
Anyway, it is time for the Sports Bash Media poll question of the day. We post a new poll question every weekday on the Sports Bash Media X/Twitter account, however you want to refer to it these days. First, let's go back to yesterday's poll question. And the question was, how should former Jets defensive end Mark Gastineau be honored? And we gave you 4 choices. His number 99 retired, election to the Pro Football Hall of Fame, both his number and retired and Hall of Fame, and the Ring of Honor that he's already in with the Jets is enough. And I can't believe the numbers that came in. 56% of the people who responded feel that the Ring of Honor is enough, that he should not have his number retired, and he should not be in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. I thought more Jet fans would like to see his number 99 retired.
Yeah, it's pretty shocking. But also keep in mind that it's not only Jet fans that are answering the polls. So
Well, you like to
maybe
think when you-
excuse it a little.
Well, you like to think when you hashtag Jet Up and you want to attract the Jet fans to take part in the poll, and I've had a lot. I could go either way because we talked about this yesterday. Gastineau walked out on the Jets and he rubbed a lot of people the wrong way, and it took Joe Klecko 30 years to get into the Hall of Fame. I just don't see how Gastineau gets into the Hall. I think the better chance is that his number is retired, but if it hasn't been retired by now and other people have worn 99, I just don't see it happening. So, but I'm surprised at the number. I thought that number would be, at least his number retired would win.
Well, he was a Jet favorite.
He was.
He was back in the playing days. The dance was pretty notorious.
Can you do the sack dance?
Oh, sure.
Yeah? You want
Yeah.
to do it right now?
Sure, I'll give it a shot.
Let's
You ready?
see. Let's do Vinny Tickets is
Let's
going to
see.
do the Mark Gastineau sack dance.
So let's see.
Let's see. Careful.
Did you tackle?
Tackle. He did a little jump up in the air with his
Yes,
fist in the
at
air,
the end
too.
there, but,
We could give that like 6 out of 10.
6 out of 10? Okay.
6 out of 10.
Once again, I'm just okay.
Yes,
Yeah, okay.
6 out of 10. Let's get to today's question. And thinking long and hard about this, came up with this one. Back to baseball. Which new baseball rule do you like the most? And the 4 choices are the pitch clock, the ghost runner, the universal DH, or none. I'm old school. Go back to the way it was. So those are pitch clock, ghost runner, universal DH, none. I'm old school. Me, I love the pitch clock. That's the choice. I don't like the ghost runner. I'm okay with the DH. I'm an American League guy, so I always got used to the DH. But I think the pitch clock is one of the best things that's come into baseball.
Well, it speeds up the game quite a bit, and it gives it a whole new dynamic of the game. But I'll say I'm old school. I just like to go to a strange thing happened Sunday. My son went to the game with a bunch of his friends.
Mm-hmm.
They got caught up. They got there late. Sunday's game, I think, was 2 hours, 20 minutes.
Yeah.
A really, really quick game.
Fast game.
By the time you get in, if you're a little bit late, he was 45 minutes late. He missed half the game.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's a tough thing. But listen, there were reasons why baseball was dragging on. Guys get out of the box, they get back in. The pitcher looks over, just steps off the mound. So I can understand where now I'm not normally in a rush to go to a game and come home, but there is something about the pace of play, and I do like the fact that the pace of baseball is a lot faster.
It
now.
does
I do like
speed it
that.
up.
It is now time for this day in sports history, and for that, we welcome in a man who loves his vegetables. Here's WizKid Vinny.
Go ahead, Wiz.
He's speechless now. We
Well,
only have 4 minutes left on the show. You're going to have to move it now.
fortunately, it's kind of short. But back in 1948, on this day, Satchel Paige, the legendary Negro League and MLB pitcher, made his debut at the age of 42 for the Cleveland Indians. It was a game that the team lost against the St. Louis Browns. He had 2 innings, 2 scoreless innings. He had 1 strikeout and 2 hits allowed. Fortunately for him, he won a World Series that year. It was the last World Series that Cleveland won, whether it's the Indians or the Guardians, whatever name you prefer. And he would eventually become a part of the St. Louis Browns, becoming an all-star 2 times, 52 and 53. And he played on and off, depends. And then he finally ended his playing career at the age of 59, just a couple weeks shy of being 60 years old because he needs to get that pension.
A
good for him.
A good this day in sports history. And remember, too, not just on the show does Wiz do this, but look at the Sports Bash Media social media accounts, because he does a great job putting a graphic together every day for this day in sports history. But let's get down to real business. Tomorrow is Wednesday. You know what that means.
Yeah.
Tomorrow is Stump the Wiz Day. So this is what we do on Wednesdays. If you want to stump the Wiz, you have to DM us your best sports trivia question to the Sports Bash Media X, Facebook, or Instagram accounts. Now, you have to DM them because we don't want him to see them publicly on social media. So your best sports trivia question, and if we pick your question tomorrow on Stump the Wiz, and you actually step on, what's the numbers now? We're 500 now, 4
Yes.
for 8?
Yeah, it's 500, 4 for 8, but also there's another thing that's happening
Are
tomorrow.
you challenging one of the decisions again?
No, I'm not.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm not doing that at all, because tomorrow my mom's turning 57 years old.
Oh, well, happy birthday.
You're not
day.
supposed to say the number.
Yeah, happy birthday.
Happy
Yeah.
birthday,
Yeah.
Reggie.
Yes.
So we want you to DM those sports trivia questions to the Sports Bash Media Facebook, X, and Instagram accounts, and hopefully we'll come up with a really good question, and we have to come up with a prize. Have we had the prize meeting yet as to what the prize would be?
We have not, but I was thinking about if Wiz gets it right, a crudité.
A crudité. There you
Yes.
go. I like that.
Yes.
We'll get like a little vegetable platter
Yes, of course.
from one of the local supermarkets here on Long Island, and if the viewer caller stumps the Wiz tomorrow, we'll come up with some kind
Yeah,
of
we'll
tickets,
find
right?
something at Bald Hill. A lot of great shows. Walker Hayes was.
Maybe we can get a Shootout for Soldiers T-shirt to give away as the prize tomorrow. Oh, we got a thumbs up from Mike Nelson. There you go.
There you
A
go.
Shootout. So what was it? Maybe we'll do a package. Maybe we'll do a package tomorrow.
yeah.
Absolutely. So that's coming up tomorrow. On Thursday, we've got a big show. We're going to be joined by one of the most influential and legendary personalities in the history of professional wrestling. Eric Bischoff, the former president of WCW, is going to join us over the phone from his home in Wyoming, where he has retired to and moved to with his family. On Friday, we're going to be joined by Arena Football League Chairman and CEO Chris Chetty. The Arena Football League will be staging Arena Bowl 33 a week from this Friday, July 19th, at the American Dream Mall in New Jersey. Now, if you say, why are you having it in the mall? We talked about this
It's a
with
pretty
Commissioner
cool setup.
Jeff. Yeah. So they have an ice rink in the mall. They're going to put the turf over the ice rink, hang the nets, and they're going to sell tickets. You'll be able to watch from the balconies. They're going to have some field level seats. And here's the thing. Here's the real reason why you're going to want to buy a ticket and come see a game. I'm going to be the public address announcer.
Hey now.
How about that? Now, I don't know if that deters you from buying a ticket to the game, but I am very excited to be back associated with the AFL. I spent 8 years with the New York Dragons as their play-by-play announcer, so I am all pumped up to be involved with that game on Friday, July 19th.
And you do a great job,
Well,
too.
thank you very much. I appreciate that. And you're more than just okay. I'm going
Whoa.
to change up the terminology. That will do it for this edition of Sports Bash presented by TicketBash.com. We're sponsored by the Embassy Diner in Bethpage, Falcone Law Firm, the Marty Lyons Foundation, and by Collaborate Studios. For Vinny Tickets and our entire crew, this is Peter Schwartz saying thank you for watching and listening. Sports Bash is back tomorrow morning, Wednesday morning, 9 o'clock on all of the platforms, LI News Radio, Facebook, YouTube, over 20 others. We'll see